Here we go. I apologize. So my name is Kara Shirley. I am your digital news desk host, and we are here on Wlbt Plus, waiting for the chief of Jackson Police Department, Joseph Wade, to come, and they are going to be doing a press conference regarding the child that lost their life last week. Excuse me, 4-year-old little girl that passed away.
I'm gonna take it on my savings account.
Let me take this back, get the audio fixed on this for you guys. So what we are waiting on right now is the police chief to come on. Like I said, he is going to be giving a press conference regarding the little girl that passed away or had her life taken last week. Her name is Erin. Her mother was found dead in Louisiana, who was also killed by Daniel Callahan. He is the gentleman or the man who was arrested last week here in Jackson for this murder. So I'm going to show you him in case you do not remember what he looks like. This is Daniel Callahan. This is the man who was arrested last week for the abduction of Erin, 4-year-old Erin, and her 6-year-old sister. And then also we have this person here, Victoria, who was also arrested in connection with that homicide that happened. So right now we are waiting for Chief Wade to take the podium there, and we will be going straight to that when he comes up. Now, we just released just a short while ago that the coroner for the mother of Erin was also found murdered, and the police or the coroner said that she died due to multiple sharp force injuries. She was found, as they put it, brutally slain at her Louisiana home last week. So after allegedly killing the mother, Callie, the man Daniel kidnapped her 2 daughters, 4-year-old Erin and 6-year-old sister, which resulted in an Amber Alert. And he was eventually captured here in Mississippi. When he was captured, the body of 4-year-old Erin was found dead in the woods along Boozer Drive here in Jackson. Her sister, who was found alive, was taken to the hospital for treatment. Now, Callahan has confessed to the crimes during a perp walk that we aired last Friday. He confessed to them, and he said that he had no reason for what he did. He says, quote, "All I know is I was sober and only on Lexapro and off Lexapro, and I am also diagnosed with multiple personality disorder." He also said that the death penalty would be the best thing for him. Now, he is being charged with not only capital murder, but sexual battery, and that's for the crimes here in Jackson. He also faces multiple charges over in Louisiana. Those charges include the first-degree murder of Callie Brunette, who is the mother of the 2 children, and 2 counts of aggravated kidnapping and armed robbery. Again, Victoria Cox has also been arrested in connection with this crime, and we don't know yet exactly what her connection is. But we are hoping that maybe Chief Wade will give that information today during this press release. So as you can see here on the screen, we're waiting for him to come up, and looks like he is getting prepared. There's Chief Wade. We're going to be going straight to that when that happens. I want to show you the picture of these little girls that their lives were taken. Or Erin, the little girl to the right. She is the one who passed away. And then he have his sister. So we're going to go straight to the press conference now.
No, the one on the wall. On this wall? Yes. No, she's just coming.
Okay, looks like they are still waiting to get ready, getting things situated here. So here we go.
They're here for some other information too, so we'll move you guys out. Okay, good. Now I'm going to talk about three things as we get ready for the family to come in. The first one is a missing person. Then the second one is of a recent homicide that we made an arrest in. Then, of course, the last one will be of Callahan and Cox, that case, okay? Melody Bond. Pictures or anything? No pictures or anything? That's fine, that's fine. We'll make sure we send it. Oh, you have the family members in there? Okay. All right. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming on a short notice. I have three things I want to talk about today. The first one is going to be a case involving this family behind me, this wonderful family that I've met with before. We want to bring attention to their missing person that is from their family, and it's concerning to me because he's been missing since June 13th of 2022. This is a part of my Stand With Me campaign where I meet with families and I stand with them as they try to get a resolution and some closure to their family. Their loved one, Donald Hewitt, went missing in the area of 5000 Ridgewood Road here in Jackson at an apartment complex. He has not been seen from or heard from since. We are soliciting help from the public to find out what happened to him. We know that people do not just disappear off the face of the earth. Somebody knows something. If you want to be anonymous, you can contact us at Crime Stoppers 601-355-TIPS, 601-355-TIPS, or contact the Jackson Police Department at 601-960-1234. This family deserves closure. They want to know what happened to their loved one. They deserve to know what happened to their loved one. Ms. Vaughn brought to my attention, I met with her probably over a month ago. We have not been able to bring her the closure that she deserves and this family behind me deserves. So please, if you have any information, please contact us. This could be your family. This could be your family next. A threat to her family is a threat to all of our family. At this time, I will let her speak. Again, thank you, and please help us bring some closure to this family. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I just want to say, whatever information that you have out there, please share it with the Jackson Police Department. It's like Chief Wade said, my son just didn't walk away. But as you can see, he is loved. You know, I love and I miss my son. So whatever you can do, I plead with you. But I also want to thank Chief Wade. There's a new detective on this case, and I'm gonna shout her out, Detective Archie.
Yes.
She has done more on this case in 24 hours than anybody has done.
Yes.
So I want to shout her out today. But I also just plead with you as a mother who loves and misses her son. Please help. Please help find my son. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that want to say something? Okay.
I just want to say that unresolved cases such as this one pose a threat to our community because we have a potential, who knows what, kidnapper, murderer roaming loose in amongst the community. And if his mother cannot sleep at night, there is no way that anyone involved in this should be able to sleep at night. And that's all I have to say.
Again, I do want to add, like Ms. Vaughn stated, we have assigned a new detective to the case, and she's doing an outstanding job. I spoke with her. She's actually in the process of putting together some search warrants in the case. She's done a lot of great work, but We have to bring closure to this family. We have so many other families. I met with a family this morning who wants closure, and another 2-year-old case. I'll be standing with them probably in the next couple of days. But these families deserve closure. Please help us. Let's push the message out to the community. And guess what? Our citizens in the city of Jackson are tired. They're tired. A lot of the cases that we're solving now is because the community is giving us the information that we need to hold people accountable for their actions here in the city of Jackson. So again, I want to keep this family uplifted in prayer. Let's continue to pray for them. Let's pray that we hold these individuals accountable who's putting them through this horror and terror that they've experienced the past 2 years. Thank you. All right. Thank y'all so much. Okay. God bless you, and I'll be in contact with you. All right. Thank you. Can y'all hear me okay? Yes. Okay. I do have 2 other cases, of course, that I want to talk about. We had a homicide that occurred on June 9th at 1058 Marine Street. We had a young man, Davion Miles, 18 years of age, that was shot down during a drive-by shooting. Thanks to the community again, we got a lot of information from the community via Crime Stoppers. We got information from the community, from video surveillance, from their Ring cameras, their home surveillance system. And what's startling about this case, of course, an 18-year-old lost his life. So my prayers and condolences go out to his family. But the arrest that we made in this case should bring some shock value to you. A 13-year-old Black female has been charged with murder and drive-by shooting. A 14-year-old Black male, a 15-year-old Black male, and a 16-year-old Black male have been charged with murder and drive-by shooting in that particular case. It should be startling to us all when we have a 13-year-old involved in such heinous action. We have a 14-year-old, 15, and 16-year-old being charged with murder and drive-by shooting. All these individuals played an active role in this particular case. Of course, I'm not at liberty to divulge much information because of their age, but they are being charged with these very, very serious crimes here in the city of Jackson that happened on last weekend. As you know, last weekend, not this past weekend, the weekend before, we had 3 homicides within 24 hours. The JPD investigative team and patrol team has worked very, very hard to solve those cases. And 2 of those 3 homicides have been solved. And we feel we have some very good information to solve that 3rd one as well. Any questions about the Marine Street homicide? All right, to give you an update on the very heinous act that happened and transpired here in the city of Jackson on last Thursday. Of course, you know now the FBI is taking the lead in the case because these kids were transported across state lines. We should know soon what federal charges they will be facing, but on the state level, the Jackson Police Department have charged both of these individuals with capital murder and sexual battery. Capital murder and sexual battery. They are facing additional charges in tangible hope. They are facing federal charges, and we're not ruling out additional charges on the state level here in the city of Jackson and the state of Mississippi as well. I want to commend the many law enforcement agencies that have been working with us in this particular case. And what makes this so significant, we started working this crime scene on Thursday. We did not finish processing that crime scene till Saturday afternoon. We held that crime scene for 3 days processing that crime scene. I want to thank Jackson FBI for their amazing work on this case, the U.S. Marshals, Mississippi Attorney General's office. I was on the phone with them today. Department of Public Safety, I've been on the phone with Commissioner Tyndall. Really, the overwhelming support we've had from DPS. Capitol Police, NBI is doing an amazing job. I was on the phone with them today, 2 captains from NBI, Hines County Sheriff's Department, Rankin County Sheriff's Department, Byron Police Department. It's been a huge collaborative effort. And also, of course, our Hines County District Attorney's Office. I cannot elaborate on what federal charges. That's a question that would be more applicable to the U.S. Attorney or Special Agent Eckhoff with the FBI. But we anticipate those charges very, very soon, possibly in the next couple of days. I will answer as many questions as I can without jeopardizing the case, but we are pursuing the state charges. Of course, we anticipate federal charges very soon. Ross.
Chief, you heard Mr. Callahan make public statements to the media on Friday regarding his role in the death of Aaron Burnett. What statements has he made to police investigators regarding his role in the death of a young girl?
I cannot divulge his entire interview. I do not want to state what he said, but it was pretty consistent with what he said to you guys. He's not denying anything. He has implicated the young lady that we charged as well. We feel we have a very strong case as we move forward against both of them in this particular matter, but he was interviewed by the FBI. They may be able to talk to you more about that. We were present. We did observe the interview. And again, I want to thank all of the agencies that participated. I've said it from day one, their resources and relationships and their power and partnerships. And this showed collaborative, collective effort as we move forward in this investigation.
Has he said how he killed the girl and why?
We're waiting on the forensic pathologist, the medical examiner. I would assume, and this is clearly an assumption, that she possibly died from asphyxiation or suffocation. But we will have to wait on the medical examiner before we release that information. I did not see any gunshot wounds or anything like that, so it appeared possibly suffocation, but there's yet to be determined.
Chief, there were comments about cages that's raised questions, obviously, about human trafficking. Any additional information suggesting one way or the other whether or not trafficking was a part of this case?
It's still an ongoing investigation. We normally don't take 3 days to process a scene. I observed small cages myself, these small wiring enclosures, and there were other things that led us to believe that it was possibly a location that human trafficking could happen or transpire. We contacted Hines County. We contacted Mississippi Bureau of Investigations, their human trafficking division. They came out, they processed the scene. We don't have any state charges yet in reference to that. There may be some additional charges as I speak with NBI and our federal partners as we move forward, but that crime scene was worked very thoroughly. It was worked, extensively by multiple agencies, our units, NBI and the FBI. So if there's anything that was found, we will be able to disclose that in the future, whether there were additional human remains or anything else that would lead to human trafficking charges.
And so, Chief, what about 6-year-old Jaylee Burnett? Have we know the type of injuries that she has?
My understanding, she's still recovering. I do not want to deep dive into her situation right now because the grandparents, my understanding, were en route or have arrived here in Jackson to see about her or take custody of her. But we do know, so sadly that the 4-year-old did not survive her injuries.
Chief, is the death penalty being sought in this? And also, has the talks of extradition been thrown out there?
We are talking about extradition and what that looks like because we have state charges in Mississippi. There are state charges pending in Louisiana. And of course, we have federal charges. So we have a lot of different dynamics working here. Of course, that's going to be up to the prosecutor, whether it's the U.S. attorney or whether it's the district attorney as to what they want to pursue. But I think if there's a case that would definitely rise to the level of the death penalty, this should be it. Because I still have imprinted in my head the sight of that 4-year-old in the woods, dead.
Chief, specifically, what led to the sexual battery charges?
I don't want to talk about that specifically right now. As you do your research as to what entails sexual battery, then you will be able to kind of connect the dots. But based on our investigation, based on our collaborative investigation, and based on his statements, we felt that was the appropriate charge.
Was it related to the younger child or the older child?
Both.
And so, Chief, do we know what role Ms. Cox played in the death or the sexual battery?
Based on our information, she was implicated, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go into all the details of this case because, as I stated, you have a state case going on here that I've been speaking to our district attorney about, Jody Owens. We also have Tangible Hope, which their DA, their law enforcement is working as well. But we also have our federal partners, the FBI, and I do not want to jeopardize anybody's investigation by releasing too much information at this time. We will be doing a joint press conference next week with Department of Public Safety, along with our other partners who have been working on this investigation. Then we all collaboratively can talk about our role, what role we played. And again, I do want to commend DPS, FBI, NBI. This was so large. It was a large scale event. It was something that required additional resources. And when we called, they came.
Chief, do you know how soon Callahan and Cox will be making their initial court hearings?
I do not know. I received some information. Cox may be having hers either today or tomorrow on her state charges. I do not know when Callahan will be going before a federal magistrate. I don't know how soon he will be, but we're in standby mode because we know that he's going to be facing federal charges. Then the state charges will kind of descend from there.
Chief, a cornerback in Louisiana made comments to us confirming that the mother of Aaron Brunette died from being stabbed with a quote sharp object. What role, if any, does that play in your investigation of determining what happened to these little girls?
Well, all of it plays a part. It's like putting a large puzzle together. We want to know what he did there. And my question is, how and why did you come to Jackson, Mississippi? There were so many places you could have stopped. There were so many places you could have went to, east and west, but you came here. So we have a lot of questions that still have to be answered. Right now, I have more questions than answers for you, for the community. But what I can say is that we have brought these individuals into custody. We do not anticipate right now on the state level charging anybody else outside of those two. So the citizens of Jackson can know that they're safe from these individuals and they're not roaming around South Jackson anymore to bring harm to other children in South Jackson and the city of Jackson.
Chief, we spoke with a neighbor today who said she had seen Daniel Callahan on the street where he was ultimately arrested before, that he had spent time in the area. The officer's been able to confirm that. Has he ever been in Jackson before this incident?
And I cannot confirm that. That road, that area that he was on, does not really require a lot of law enforcement service in that area. We have not been called to that area for a lot of calls. So apparently he was familiar with the area because that's not a street that normally a suspect would go down because it's a dead end. There's nowhere to go once you turn left on Bouger. But he knew that law enforcement was close. He knew that law enforcement was behind him. And I want to thank again the U.S. Marshals for the great work that they did. I want to thank the quick response of the Jackson police officers who found those two babies in the woods.
And Chief, you believe that Aaron Brunette was killed sometime on Thursday?
Again, yes, I do. But of course, that has to be confirmed by the medical examiner. I do think that she was killed on Thursday. I do think that one of the children was still alive. I know that one was still alive and that one did not survive her injuries. Again, Ross, we have more questions than answers, but we know that we do have two individuals that will be held accountable for their actions in Louisiana, in Mississippi, and on the federal level.
And you don't have any reports, any previous run-in from JPD with Mr. Callahan?
I do not have that information firsthand. No, I do not.
And so, Chief, when it comes to Victoria Cox, do we know if she was in Louisiana and came with Daniel to Mississippi, or was she picked up here in Mississippi?
Based on our investigation, she was with him. She was with him. And again, I really want to put a peg right there because I do not want to jeopardize the case. I do anticipate us having a joint press conference on next Monday. I've spoken to Commissioner Tyndall about that and also our other partners. And at that time, you will be able to question each agency and their role and what charges they plan on pursuing. But again, this was a collaborative effort. It was not a one agency show. It was a collaborative and collective effort on the state level, the county, federal, and local level.
Chief, stepping away from your investigation, but just watching that press conference or those comments that Callahan made last week as a law enforcement officer, how did you interpret what he said in the grand scheme?
Well, I interpret that he's a bad actor and that the city of Jackson, Louisiana, and the whole Gulf South region is a better place because those two are behind bars. Because a threat to those two young, beautiful children is a threat to all children. That could happen to anyone's child, what they did to those children. So to hold them accountable for their actions is our number one priority. And it's very hurtful as a police chief and as a father to see that done to those beautiful children.
Do we have a motive at this time for these crimes that were committed?
I don't have a motive except that he's a bad actor. He's a bad guy. He's a bad person. She's a bad person. And I guess that's the motive. They're bad people doing bad things. All right. As the motive moves, as the case moves forward, we may have a more additional information, but it's very heinous and horrific and sickening what they did last week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank y'all so much. Okay.
Thank you.
And that is the end of the press conference. So just going to give you guys a recap of what Chief Wade talked about there during this press conference today. And let's see, first he spoke with, or he's met with a family, had a family come up with him as part of his Stand With Me campaign. He referenced a person that had been missing since June of 2022 here in the Jackson area, and his name is Donald Hewitt. We have a missing poster here that I can share with you guys. Let you see who he is. This is from the Twitter page or the X page, Black and Missing Foundation here in the capital city. So this is Donald Hewitt Jr., who has been missing since June of 2022 here in Jackson. He is 29 years old. Says here that he is a black male, medium complexion, 6 foot tall, 170 pounds. His hair was black. His eyes were brown. He was last seen on Tuesday, June the 14th, near Pine Point Drive here in Jackson. So they met with the family or had the family there today and are asking for any information, if anyone has any information on this missing individual, Donald Hewitt Jr. They ask that you please contact JPD. The number is 601-960-1234, or contact Crime Stoppers at 601-355-8477. Chief Wade also spoke about a murder that happened here in Jackson last week, and that was the murder of Davian, 18-year-old man on Marine Street, and his name was Davian Miles, and he was killed on June the 9th. 4 teenagers were arrested in connection with that murder, and they have been charged with the drive-by shooting. I think that was one of the Chief Wade's main points in bringing this up, was not only to let you know that the killers have been captured in this investigation, but also just to bring awareness to the ages. They're all teenagers. They were all teenagers, from the person who lost their life to the people who allegedly committed the crime. But they have been taken into custody. And then he moved on to talk about the killing of the 4-year-old little girl, Erin, here in Jackson last week. And let's see, let me get this pulled up. So the man that was arrested in that, his name is Daniel Callahan. This is him on the screen right there. And then he also spoke about Victoria Cox. here she is on the screen. She was also arrested in connection with this. The two little girls who were abducted and found here in Jackson is we have the 6-year-old there, and then the youngest one here, 4-year-old Erin. And Erin unfortunately lost her life allegedly at the hands of Daniel Callahan. So right now, they don't have a official cause of death for Erin. Chief Wade did say that she died from possible suffocation. Of course, they will have to wait to get information back from the medical examiner, but said that she died from possible suffocation. He said possible because he did not see any other type of injuries on her as far as a wound or anything like that. But they are waiting to get that information back from the medical examiner. He said that in the area near the home where they found the children, there was lots of small cages, which hinted to him and others there that this could be related to human trafficking. He also said the 6-year-old little girl was in the hospital and still recovering, that the child's grandparents were on their way to Jackson to possibly take custody of her and to take her back home. Now, state charges are still pending here in Mississippi and Louisiana. Federal charges are also pending. They are expecting charges in Mississippi, Louisiana, and federal charges in this case. The chief also said that, according to him and his belief, based on what he saw, that this case should definitely be a death penalty case for Daniel Cox. He said that Erin was sexually battered. He believed that she was killed on Thursday. And Chief Wade also said that Victoria Cox was implicated by Daniel Callahan. He did not say exactly what she was implicated on, but just that she was implicated and they arrested her. They also said that based on the investigation, that they do believe that she was in Louisiana with Callahan when he crossed state lines with the children. Chief Wade said there's going to be a joint press conference next Monday, and it's going to be with all of the different agencies who worked this case. We'll be able to ask some different questions to those working the case in the different agencies, and maybe be able to get some more answers for you today. Now, there was also asked of Chief Wade if either Cox or Callahan had been before a judge yet. And he said that he believes that Victoria Cox is going to be going before a judge today or tomorrow. And he is not sure yet of a court date or expected court date for Callahan. They do not have a motive yet into why they committed these crimes. We do know that Callahan was allegedly an ex-boyfriend of the children's mother, and that he allegedly killed the mother over in Louisiana before he kidnapped the children and brought them here to Mississippi. But outside of that, we don't know why he allegedly killed the mother. We don't know why he allegedly did this with the children. And Chief Wade just kind of chalked it up to his bad people. They're bad people doing bad things. They also said they don't anticipate having anyone else charged with anything here in the Jackson area regarding the death of Erin and the abduction of Erin's 6-year-old sister. So that is where we are at right now. And I see you guys leaving a lot of comments here with things that you have heard and have learned from that. And I appreciate you guys doing that. Yes, Virginia, that is correct. So Virginia is stating here that fatal sharp stab wounds is what is being reported from the coroner in Louisiana. And that is exactly right. That is what we have, the information that we have received here. And of course, Elena Walden said that they were neighbors, that Callahan and the children's mother were neighbors. Is that what you are referring to, Elena? See where she put here. Elena Walden said that. So, of course, that is that's not information that we can confirm right now. Lamisha Moore said, how did he know the mom and get access to the kids? And that is a great question. If he was a former boyfriend, if they did date at one time, then that, of course, would possibly be how he knows the mother. But it makes you wonder, was this all planned out? Was it all planned out for him to go and allegedly kill the mother and take the children? And is it part of a human trafficking situation here, based off of what Chief Wade said, with seeing the small cages there in the home where the children were found in the woods behind the home? Was this a human trafficking situation that unfortunately turned deadly for so many people? And of course, this poor 6-year-old little girl, for the rest of her life, forever, she is going to have these thoughts, and knowing what happened to her mother and what happened to her little sister. Of course, I think I can speak for everybody when we say that our thoughts and our prayers are with this child, with the family of this child, and her future going forward. It is a incredibly sad situation, and those words sound like they are not enough. They don't mean enough with what happened here. But when you all boil down to it, it's just an incredibly sad situation, and it's an incredibly sad situation that it happened here in Jackson. That part of it happened. The road that Daniel Callahan took those little girls on ended here in Jackson. So we are going to, of course, be digging into this more for you guys. We're going to be there at the press conference next week, and we'll also be bringing that to you live here on WLBT Plus. But that is what we have right now with the press conference that Chief Wade held this morning. Again, he spoke about a Donald Hewitt who has been missing since July of 2022. And let me show you him again. Here he is. His family was there with Chief Wade, and his mother spoke. They are part of his Stand With Me campaign. This is, again, the missing person poster that I saw on the Black and Missing Foundation Twitter, or formerly known as X page. He also spoke about the 4 teenagers who have been arrested for the murder of Davian Miles, 18-year-old Davian Miles, that happened on the 9th. He was killed in a drive-by shooting at on Marine Street. And then he also gave us some updates, what he could update, because it is an ongoing investigation and because there are so many different agencies involved in this investigation. And of course, it is the FBI now who has really taken over it. But he could only give so much information. So he did give us some updates. We'll be looking to get more. We're going to follow this press conference when it happens next week. And meanwhile, in the meantime, keep tuned in here to WLBT. Download our news app so you can get those alerts as the stories come in, as the breaking news comes into us. And of course, we'll be here for you on our website and on our social media pages. Thank you guys for tuning in. And despite the bad and the very sad news that we heard today, I hope you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.